Hey there, everybody. I want to do a quick sound check. This is Robert Weichelt. I'll be filling in for Bob Mangold. Thanks for jumping on. We'll get started here in about 3 or so minutes. If anyone, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you guys. So you can tell me if you can hear okay for the early birds. Ron Stoker, how are you?
Awesome. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. I'm filling in for Bob. He's off to Cabo.
Sounds warm.
Yeah. Sounds like fun, huh?
Yeah, awesome.
But anyway, we'll go ahead and get started here in just a minute. So my sound's okay?
Loud and clear.
You can see the screen?
Yep.
All right. All right. Yeah, we've got a lot to cover today. A lot of this stuff you've seen. And maybe it serves as a great reminder of what we got going on with HOMEBOSS and the CREA, the whole thing, the real estate asset advisor, the whole program. And Bob's just put together a winning formula for sure. And would love to hear what you guys have to say after we're done going through this. It is quite a lengthy amount of things we're going to go through, but we'll bang it out, guys. And I wanted this to be an open forum, like kind of a flow and what's working, what's not working, that kind of thing. I know there's Fred's on the call. He's done quite a few. Ron, obviously, and so share your stories, man. Share what's working, share what's not working, so we can maybe fine tune and tweak that a little bit amongst ourselves. So let's do this. We're going to get started in 1 minute. Let's open it up. Just to some Q&A, some wins. What do you guys want to talk about today? But we're going to cover a lot of stuff. So, and I'll get recording here soon. I'm going to record this. So we'll want to have everybody mute themselves unless you're actually have a pertinent question to what we're actually talking about at the time. So everybody looks muted. Thank you for doing that. Get everybody else muted here. But this is a good time to kind of bring up some stuff before we go to mute mode, if you will, if that's even a thing, mute mode. Anything to share? Any success stories, any open houses that you've had using this platform that you'd like to share? This is the participation part right here. Nothing, no open houses. Who's done an open house in the last 6 months on this call? An open house, HOMEBOSS open house. Joe, raise your hand. Joe, let me get you unmuted, Joe. Let's get you allowed to talk. Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, good morning.
Good
yeah,
morning.
I mean, we actually just discussed one that I did back on the 6th and 7th of this month. Phenomenal success. And then, so that was actually my second one.
Okay.
Because I joined with Bob in like January and just, I love the idea, the process, and I just been trying to take off running with it.
It's certainly awesome. So you had a great open house. Tell us about the open house. What kind of traffic, what kind of conversations, what kind of objections were you getting from buyers and also agents coming in for the first time?
Oh, okay. So we had 121 registered buyers in 2 days. 37 of them came with agents. Good. And it was crazy. I mean, I got pictures and videos. I loved it, right? Because I used that to secure my next listing. So next weekend we're doing another HOMEBOSS open house. But anyways, it's social proof, right? But so objections, when the buyers understand the process, they like it. When they understand that there's no games, no blind multiple counter offers and all kinds of nonsense, they liked that. The agents, not so much. The agents didn't like being drug out of whatever the hell they were doing on a Saturday or a Sunday by their buyer to come out. I got more pushback from the agents than I ever did from the buyers.
Yeah, the agents are so set in their ways, and they see something new, they're like, it's panic mode. It's certainly a great process, like you mentioned, when the buyers, they like the transparency, they like to know everything that's going on. They like it's buyers love it. The agents, once you get the agents on board with understanding the features and benefits for the sellers, the buyers, the agents, everybody involved, then they go, oh, I get so many agents that come in hot. What is this? This is terrible. This is whatever. And then once they explain it, they're literally telling me this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So it just sometimes it takes a little patience. Agents can be their own worst enemy because they get set in their ways. And I find that once they start seeing the features and benefits as it relates to themselves and their clients, most importantly, it's a different conversation. Cool.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Who else would like to share before we get started? So we're going to get started in right now. All right. So let's see if there's any other questions. I don't see any. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody just so we can get started with the process here. So I'm going to share a bunch of good stuff. So if you can just go ahead and mute yourself, everybody, that'd be fantastic. And we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, this is Robert Weichelt. I've been using HOMEBOSS since March 2019. I come with an REO background, the default market. So I wasn't a stranger to the auction platform, the auction style process, the whole why behind it. So working in the REO space, you know, HUD and Fannie, Freddie, and all those, that's really what sellers want, is the highest and best price, the shortest amount of time, with the least amount of hassle and expense. So I caught on to this platform pretty early, and I'm always learning. There's always something to learn, but you need to do a couple of these to really get the features and benefits. And once we get it to the point where we can teach it, that's when the magic happens. So not only am I taking listings from my RV across the country, literally taking listings from Zoom, but I'm training my agents and I'm training other agents how to do the same, because the name of the game, guys, is listings. So welcome to the call, reshaping how real estate is listed and sold. I call this the new way to real estate. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started and we're going to go over some good stuff. So Bob always likes to start off with a quote from Jim Rome. For things to change, you must change. Let that sink in for a little bit. Things are changing all the time, especially in the real estate industry. The only way to get better is when you get better. Things get better when you get better. Understanding this process is the whole goal. So let's go to the next thing. So agents don't like change. I can tell you that. I know that for a fact. I, being an agent, don't like change. Nobody likes change. But I'm telling you what, you're going to like being irrelevant even less, because in the real estate space, and that's why you're on this call, the real estate space is about change. There's a lot of change in our industry, and we need to either roll with it or be left behind. So change before you're forced to. That's a big quote, and I like that a lot. Well, you've seen this. NAR agrees to a sweeping changes in a $418 million commission lawsuit. I don't want to keep, kicking this dead horse, but I tell you what, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's so fluid right now. Everybody is an expert. Everybody knows what's going on. Become very educated as it relates to the whole NAR lawsuit. Pay attention to your company emails. There's a lot of smart people. Bob, for instance, I've never seen anybody so entrenched in understanding this. But he saw it. The biggest thing is he saw it 5, 6, 7 years ago, before it was an issue. I remember the early days of getting out there doing the open house, trying to explain this process to buyers, especially the agents. That was always the hardest part. And now it's all coming together. So pay attention to this. Pay attention to these calls that Bob's putting together. Be a student of your game. Understand what's going on and how it relates to you, the realtor. Okay, the predictions. I mean, we've been talking, like I said, Bob's been talking about it for years. You can see it in every single publication, social media. That's all everyone's talking about. I would recommend, don't get so involved and lost in the noise. Pay attention to what Bob's doing. He's doing all the heavy lifting for us so we can be a student of the game with his teachings. So that's what I'm doing. And everything I talk about on this is what I'm doing and what I want to share with everyone. So you got to understand that's being exaggerated big time. So what you want to do is remember, you are the best agent. The process is always to sell the home for the most amount of money, period. I've never met a seller that said, Robert, if you could sell my home for the least amount of money, I'd appreciate it. I've also never heard, can you charge me the most amount of money? I've never heard that one either. So my point is, we have all the tools to handle any objection a buyer or seller has. We have a massive database of potential buyers. I'm driving anywhere between 5, 6, 10,000 on up views on Zillow to my properties with 3, 4, 500 saves. That translates into traffic into a property. We create competition between buyers with the process, with the transparent offers. We're creating scarcity, driving demand to get even higher price for our sellers. We do our by appointment only Saturday and Sunday showings. We don't do random showings because that's a hassle for the seller, but we're creating scarcity, driving the demand so all the buyers can see all the other buyers. We give the buyers the desire and the ability to pay the seller as much as possible. The platform allows transparency and drives that offer until the highest point that buyer is willing to take it. That is something that is huge. But the biggest thing, we have a time frame in which we're doing everything. So we utilize deadlines to create urgency. For example, we'll do 9, 10 days marketing, 2-day open house, 3 days of offers, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday by 7. All those buyers are fully vetted, proof of funds, pre-approval, and they have a drop dead date. So it's creating urgency. Now, the secret of taking the listings, this is what everybody wants to know. Make everything about your process, not about you. For example, you're brand new in the business, you don't have a lot to talk about. Talk about your process. Bob talks about Ryan, his son at 22, going into take listings, and it's not about you, it's about the process. It's about the seller getting the highest and best price in the shortest amount of time. You're brand new in the business, you don't have a lot of backup of historical data to share with your sellers, but it's not about you, it's about the process. And the process has tons of success stories. There's so many, it's almost overwhelming. I could share just myself hundreds of success stories. So my point is, it's not about you, it's about the process. If you had the process, you could, watch this, here's some of the benefits, the features and benefits of this process. Grow your business by focusing on listings only, because you had a unique selling proposition that no other agents have in your market. This is a proprietary platform. Not everybody has access to this. You do. You are already ahead of the game. Bob always says you turn one listing into 5 opportunities, whether it be other sellers in the area. That happens all the time. I have sellers come to my open houses and point to the line and say, I want this. I want to sell my home this way. I'm telling you, you do the process, it squeezes a lot of juice out of that. You have sellers, you have other buyers coming to you in a very large number, which we'll go over. If you were to take one listing per week in less than 4 hours, do you have your time back a little bit? I can tell you this, when you work with buyers, I could take 5 listings in the amount of time it takes to work with one buyer. I personally like to work with listings. What if the process were to pay you at least 3% and you never had to negotiate your commission again? Everyone's commission conscious. We have a platform that allows the process to make more sense for sellers. And of course, you got the complaints with the seller lawsuits and all that with the MLS. What about the buyer agent's compensation? Is this, it's going to go away? Let's say the commissions do go away, like the MLS that everyone's talking about. In July 1st is when commissions won't be able to be given in the MLS, from what I hear right now. That could change, who knows? My point is, what if that's never an issue? What if you're already made the adjustment before it happens, where you guarantee the seller the highest market value? Guarantee it. I have a 14-day commitment, a guarantee for my sellers. If I don't sell their home for the price they're looking for, as long as they're realistic, some conditions, terms and conditions apply. My point is, I guarantee I'll sell their home for the highest market value, because buyers are the ones that create market value. When the buyers place their offers, that is considered market value. And my guarantee says, if I don't sell your home in 14 days, You can fire me and you owe me nothing. That's what I personally do. Expireds love that. Expireds just got out of a 6-month relationship where it didn't work. Usually it's because the price too high. If we walk in and say, listen, we have a different way of looking at things. We have a better way of selling homes. Let me show you. And then you provide them with your 14-day marketing strategy after they just got out of a 6-month relationship. If you're not calling expireds, you're missing a huge market. Most agents don't call FSBOs or expireds because they don't like the negativity that it brings. The only time you're getting negative sellers is when you're creating nothing new. You sound like everyone else that's calling. Okay. We can exploit Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. We drive massive buyers to our listings, massive, where we're having anywhere between 100 on the very slowest weekend to 500 and even more. I had the record, and I'll show you some stuff later on. I had the record at 586, and I held that for a while. And all of a sudden, boom, 3 people passed me. So I'm going to show you that. The open houses are a big, big part of this. Where the agents show your listings, if you're offering more compensation to a buyer agent, you're going to get more agent traction. They're going to promote your listing. I'm not a fan of offering 1 or even 2%. I like offering more. And I know that I want to give the agents the most amount of money as possible because they're out promoting the listing. We're just doing it in a transparent way. So we check all the boxes. Now, how many of you, and put this in the chat box, how many of you have this process currently in your business? Put it in the chat box. Okay. How many of you guys have a buyer value proposition? Put it in the chat box. If you have a buyer value proposition, we help people own real estate avoid 3 biggest mistakes that prevents their home being paid off in 7 to 10 years. Are you up on Equity Max? Are you understand how this process works? Would you like help with that? If you're on this call and you don't understand how this works, schedule a call with Bob. I'm telling you, it'll be the best thing you've ever done. Here's our listing process, guys. You got to have a unique selling proposition. What is your unique selling proposition? Are you utilizing the HOMEBOSS online offers platform, this HOMEBOSS selling system, to its maximum capacity to help you grow all areas of your business, not just taking more FSBOs, expired, cancels, probate, divorce, NODs, NOTs, attorneys, investors? Are you taking more of that lowest hanging fruit on the seller tree? Grow your business with the no hassle process. No hassle means there's no random showings. We're achieving the highest market value guaranteed because of our 14-day selling process, and they only paid half the commission. Most sellers are used to paying the old traditional way of doing things. If we go in there and answer their questions, what they really want to spend for their home, you have a different that's an old-fashioned way of doing things. Now we want to be able to give them the options to net the most amount of money at closing, period. It's all about net. It always has been. It's always been about net. That's the key. Remember, highest and best price, shortest amount of time, least amount of liability, hassle, and expense, guys. Now, HOMEBOSS process. Let's go into the HOMEBOSS process, how we market, sell, and negotiate real estate. This is how we do real estate. Okay, this is super easy to explain. You've got passive buyers that I currently know, and you have passive buyers I don't know. Those are the 2 buyers. You have active buyers, and you have active buyers you don't know. So my point is, there's folks out there actively selling real estate, but the passive ones, you need to make sure your database is dialed in. CRM, the number one thing you need to make sure you understand is the CRM is your friend. The active buyers are the ones coming to your open houses. It's the ones that went to your open house that become passive. Now, it's easy to explain the process, and I won't go into all the details because you all have access to this. If you don't, reach out to Bob, schedule a time and meet with him and come to one of the trainings, and he just does an amazing job. But we have checklists. It's a very easy operational process. The HOMEBOSS listing launch checklist. You got to have a checklist. Carla and my wife and I are traveling the United States in our RV, and there's a checklist. I assure you, I don't just start this thing up and drive off. I've got slides to bring in, hoses to unlatch. There's a lot of moving parts, just like a listing. I look at the airline pilot. Have you ever been inside the cockpit of an airplane? The checklist that they go through is intense, but you can't leave it to your memory. You always have to have a checklist for your new listings, a checklist for your new escrows, a checklist for your buyers. Have your checklist, and it's all available in this process. We have the open house blueprint, tell you exactly what we've done to have massive success. Where the success leaves clues. We just got to go in there, dive in, and become a student of it. Now, it's easy to explain. Here's one other thing. This is something I literally recently started doing, ordering a home warranty plan with, the seller buys it, and then we have everything is ready to go. So if something goes on during that listing, we've got that coverage, and then we get it transferred to the buyer. So that's something that is just started doing, and I just started doing it with my sellers as well. The best thing about this platform, and there's so many great things, but one of my favorite things, and the biggest message I like to tell my sellers, but everyone for that matter, when we get the buyers to compete, the sellers always win. But here's the thing: the buyers win as well because of the transparency. They're not paying for a home any more than they know that they needed to. There's no highest and best, oh my God, flip a coin, let's see where we need to come in at, buyer's remorse type of transaction. It's fully transparent, so that everybody wins. So that's one of the things I love about it. The transparency is huge. So now here's the process, and why our process is far superior than any other. Now there's a guy fishing right here. Do you want the first and only buyer, like a traditional old-fashioned way? And it's really not traditional, it's more old-fashioned. Or do you want many buyers? You want to scoop up as many buyers? And I always like to talk about this, where I look at an open house of 80% of the people that come to that open house may not like the color, may not like the location, may not like the starting price, may not like whatever. But they're there, and the people, the 20% that must have that home, they see the others and go, wait a second, everybody wants the same thing I do. That's the way to do it. Now, you got one buyer. The sellers traditionally, in the past, in the old-fashioned way, sellers were always taught to price it high and negotiate down. My personal opinion, that's a terrible strategy. We'd rather have many buyers driving that price as far as it'll go. It's a win-win for everybody, especially you, the listing agent, for the seller. My point is, there's a lot of better ways to do business. This is one of my favorites. This is Alexa and Jerry Stapp out of the San Bernardino area, Rancho Cucamonga, Inland Empire. They had so many people at their open houses, and I don't have all the photos. Bob usually plays a video here, but there's a line around the block and down the street. It was awesome. So hopefully you get a chance to see the video Bob has. And if you don't have the video and you want to get with Bob, and it's posted somewhere, I'm sure. So let's move to the next thing. Let's talk about HOMEBOSS. Okay, the process. I look at it this way: it works if you do. That's it. Simple. Because HUD, everybody with any kind of experience on this call has dealt with a HUD home. Their whole process is a bidding process. The only thing is it's not transparent. You could be bidding against yourself. Who knows? My point is, we've taken what the banks have already mastered, the government agencies, IRS, all of them use an online bidding platform or bidding platform to get the highest and best price for their homes. Bob's created this platform where the transparent and the commissions, because obviously working with FSBOs and working with this whole new commission lawsuit environment, but we get the highest and best price in a seamless transaction. That's why most everybody uses the online offers platform. I'm telling you, this will be how real estate is sold. I can guarantee it. Selling your home with HOMEBOSS system is the easiest, most lucrative way to sell. And here's why. Here's what it's done for my business. I'm taking FSBOs and expireds and canceleds, a product that most people shy away from unless you really have good scripts, right? You really need to understand that market. So what I've done is I've gone after the for sale by owners, because I look at that as the lowest hanging fruit. expireds, canceled. Don't forget about probate, divorce, working with attorneys. There's so many opportunities to reach out. Notice of default, notice of trustee, the pre-foreclosure market. Be a resource. This is a great way to do it, but you're taking listings that you normally wouldn't take. How many other listings do you think you could take? 5, 10, 15, 20 if you'd use this platform? It's the most lucrative way, period, to sell a home for a seller. And it's the best way for us agents to grow our business. So it's awesome. I mean, the concept is not new. What Bob's done is he's fine-tuned it. Like, I mean, the guy is just like a mad scientist, and it's you need to really, really learn how this program works, not only for taking more listings, but driving more traffic, building your database of buyers, sellers, and investors, and growing your team. There's so many opportunities why this is so good. Look at this. This is fantastic. This is how the platform works. This is one of my favorite things to talk about because I love it. I have one going on literally just about every Wednesday. I have one going on literally as soon as I'm done doing this call. I'm going to be following up with the over 200-300 people. I mean, it was nuts. It was crazy busy out of Marietta. We've already have about 11 offers now. We still have all day today, and by 7 they're due. But my point is, all the offers are transparent. You can tell exactly what the last offer was, what the current offer is, but most importantly, especially in today's environment, the transparent agent compensation. And this is us being transparent in how the commissions that are being paid to the agents affect the final sales price. It's beautiful, and it's fully transparent, not only with the offers, but the commissions. But you can see exactly how many times have you received this call. Yes, I'm calling about your property at 123 Main Street. Is it still available? Do you have any offers? There's a link inside the agent confidential remarks. They can go right to it and see exactly how many offers, exactly when they were placed, and for how much, and when the bidding ends. We put a date on it. I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By 7 o'clock on Wednesday, all offers are due. They go in, make an offer, and it's a fantastic, fantastic way to do it. Now, let's go to the next here. Let's show the next thing. This is when the 2 offers came in. So see, all you do is you click the offers link, the hyperlink, click it, and you can see all the offers. Now it's gone up to 555. Agent compensation is automatically calculated at the percentage on the platform for a total purchase price. 3 days, 9 hours. Then we have 3 offers. Then we have 16 offers. We've got 8 minutes left. This is when it gets fun. I'm sure there's a couple offers on the first day. There's a couple on the next day, but the real fun is watching towards the last few hours is when everybody starts getting their offers in and the excitement's going, the sellers watching it, all the buyers that wanted to buy the home are watching it. It's an event, and have fun with it. I have sellers literally have watching parties. I've had one seller that had a wine party at her home while the offers were coming in, and she kept calling me every single time a new offer came in. I said, it's okay. You wait till the end. You'll start seeing it. She's sending me selfies and photos and videos. I had another guy. He was a bird watching. He had a bird watching group he was in. He had a bird watching his meeting at his home to watch the online offers platform. It's absolutely exhilarating. So my point is, well, look at that. Let's go back to the last slide. 16 offers. Boom. 32 offers. That price went up to $680. The agent compensation is automatically calculated for a total purchase price of $700, $400. Go write your RPA. Of course, here are the terms and conditions that the sellers are looking for. Go write your offer. That's where you write your purchase contract. $700, $400. If long as the seller and buyer agree, write the contract. But it tells you it's ended. So it's, oh my God, it is fantastic. Now here's how it works. The final offer plus agent compensation equals the contract price. So a lot of times people say, oh, I submitted an offer, and they just don't pay attention to the terms and conditions. It happens all the time. It's really not a lot to read, but it's just, for some reason, they seem to misunderstand the terms and conditions. It's our job to explain it to them, to the buyers, to the sellers, to the agents, to everyone. It's our job to master the features and benefits of this so we can explain it. but it's that's part of the magic. Is I love when people call me. I love when people text me, asking me questions, engaging. The open houses are a hoot. I did my first open house in a while, but I did one this last weekend. It was, I'm telling you, it was fantastic. My team was great. We did a lot of great things, but at the end of the day, it's all about the final results for the seller right there. Contract price. This is the number that the lender and appraiser work from. A lot of agents say, well, yeah, we have to disclose the agent compensation to the lender. There's nothing to disclose. The contract price is what it's written, and that's what everybody gets. So that don't overthink it. I find that most of us like to overthink. Does this really work for the seller? Well, I can tell you this, there's example after example. But one thing I like to point out, and I track these numbers every single day during the process, my 14-day process. Every single day at the end of the day, I track exactly how many views, how many saves. Views are called eyeballs on your home. The more views, the better. The saves are typically the amount of traffic you're going to have to that home. You may have a lot of views, but the saves should gauge your open house traffic. And remember, we want to drive as many people to those homes as possible. So more views is better is this moral of that story. But this property right here, and Bob always points this thumbnail out, the picture of this home. Don't, that's a terrible picture. Don't use that picture. Use a really nice photo of the home. And I know that, I mean, that's a nice one, but just look at some of these results. 42 offers, 371,000. 54 offers, 617. Starting price was 450. That's the big thing to remember. Sure, we're starting 15% below what you believe to be the market value because you're the expert in your market. You should know what that home is selling for. We price it 15% below. That drives massive traffic. And as you can see, 54 offers on this property. I don't know, call me crazy, but that's a lot of options for the seller. Okay. This is a great story. This is one of my listings. This is in San Diego, Santee, California. The sellers, there was 3 sellers. They were kind of all over the place on their price. One thought it was worth 900. The other one thought it was 950. And once I explained my process, they agreed on $1 million. I'm like, you know what? I'll take the challenge because I still feel it's worth that. I feel very confident with this platform that it's going to drive massive traffic because it's got a big buyer pool in Santee. So we ended up listing it at $1 million. Our starting price was $850. Most sellers would lose their mind. What do you mean? I'm going to sell my house for $850? No way. That's our starting price. We're getting the juices flowing in the neighborhood. Who's to say what it's worth? Let the buyers decide. Because of our strategy, we drove over 400 groups through the open house Saturday and Sunday. We drove 31 offers. Remember, their original sales price goal was 900. Then they changed it to 950. And then once I explained how the platform worked and how everything, all the features and benefits, they moved their goal to $1 million. We got them $1,085,000. And the buyer paid for their own buyer agent. That's a big deal. 31 offers on $1 million home. This is a great story. It was a very tough transaction, but it will tell you what it is. It drove massive traffic, massive leads opportunities for the buyer agents, massive seller traffic for us listing agents. It was fantastic. Now, here's me. It feels kind of weird talking about me, but my point is I held the record for a long time. 586 people through an open house weekend. Yes, it was bananas. We were not prepared. We thought we over prepared. That was wrong. It was awesome. It was a good problem to have. My point is, that's what we want with an open house. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to somebody that says, oh, I had 20 people through the doors, or I had 15 people thinking that's good. Yeah, I'm not trying to brag, but 586 is awesome. But here's what the funny thing is. Then Jerry and Alexa came in and had 742 in their open house. Guys, remember, the open house is the reason for the season. We want to drive as many eyes to that home with our social media. We want to drive all those eyes to the actual open house so all buyers can see all the other buyers and want the same thing. 742, they shattered it. But guess what? Kathy Ryan came in, 500 people on Saturday, another like 350 or whatever it was. I'm sure it's like, I think it was 884. Yes, 884. Look at that line of people. Are you kidding me? Is that a visual that a seller would love to have? You share this kind of experience with other sellers, you can't help but take more listings. I'm telling you, it is awesome, but guess what? It didn't last long. Jerry and Alexa had 1,224. Now that was the video that Bob shared. And if you don't get a chance to see that, make sure you do it. It's fantastic. So my point is, people are getting business, from this. I mean, look at Tom here. Tom took 13 listings in 2023 alone from one probate attorney. He received 4 more the first week of January. That's huge. That's a huge market. Probate attorney, just one. I talked about FSBOs, expired, canceled, probate, divorce. I talked about pre-foreclosure, post-foreclosure. There's lots of opportunities. The probate attorneys is just one niche. Huge. Good job, Tom. This photo cracks me up. That's me on the beach in Cabo. And Bob and the whole team, we were all down there. And I had some appointments, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to practice what I preach. I know that I do all my Zoom appointments, all my seller listings are all done via Zoom. I haven't stepped foot in a home to take a listing since March 2020. Like I said, I'm traveling the country in my RV. So I'm a big fan of practicing what I preach. This is me down at the beach taking listing appointments. We took 4 that weekend. I think we took 2 that day. But Bob was saying, hey, where's Robert? And somebody said he's down taking listings on the beach. So the whole crew came down and they started snapping a bunch of photos. So this just reminds me of, you can take listings anywhere you want. It doesn't matter. Don't confine yourself geographically. So I'd love to share that story with you more. So that one cracks me up. And Bob likes to tell this story because, I mean, we're in our RV. That's our RV. That's my wife, Carla, right there. We're traveling. We just got back. We took a long way to Texas, took the long way back to San Diego, been on the road for about 3 months. We're back in San Diego to see family, and my wife wants her hair done. Yep, our daughter's a hairdresser. But my point is, you need to be able, in my opinion, I figured Carla and I were going to travel the country, and this is the time. We have adult children. They're at that age before it's, baby time and all that stuff. So this is our time. So let's go travel, and we're having a blast. It's been fun, but we're taking our listings from the motorhome. I'm literally doing this call from the kitchen counter in my motorhome. So my point is, if you're in Washington, Idaho, Montana, any of those states, we're coming out. That's our next tour we're doing. Anyway, this story kind of warms my heart. There's Alexa. She's in Japan, a teacher in Japan. And then fast forward, she's got like an $8 million team, and she is doing so many things with the luxury market. And she is just such an inspiration. So if you know Alexis, you need to stay out of her. She's really a great student of the game as well. So let's wrap this up. If you think that what I've shared today, I kind of shared my personal story on how it's working for me. I'm taking more listings than I have had before. I had a little training before I got introduced to this platform, but every single day it evolves into some really amazing stuff. We're taking more listings than most, I can tell you that. We're having great experience at our open houses with tons of buyer traffic, and we have tons of offers coming in. We have tons of happy sellers, and we're just having a blast doing this. So if this is helpful and would grow your business, you want to know, what are your options? Get with the person that invited you today. If somebody said, hey, you got to jump on this call, and you felt that there was some value, reach out to the person that invited you and say, listen, I want to take this to the next step. I want to know more. Then we can share that information with you from that point forward. But I tell you what, this is a game changer personally for me. Here's the QR code. If you want to do a free meeting with Bob, go ahead and reach out to him, and make sure you get with the person that brought you, but definitely brainstorm with Bob. I'm telling you what, Bob knows his stuff, and he's an inspiration for me. He's my mentor, and he's changed my life forever, and I'm forever grateful. So I just wanted to give you that plug. That was not a paid endorsement. I'm telling you what, there's no need for that. Bob is the real deal, man. So with that said, any questions up to this point? I'd love to answer any questions. I can unmute people if you want to put in the chat box. We can certainly have an open discussion about it. Let's see. Lost the audio. Still no audio. Got it back. It's on my side. Okay. Any questions, guys? I'm going to go ahead and open up the mic. So I'm going to go ahead and let folks jump in and really kind of let's talk here. Let's see. Any questions? I'm unmuting people as we speak here. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Anybody just put your hand up if you want to have any questions and I can unmute you. Hi, Karen Means. I think you're awesome. Let's see. Who else is on here? Karen Me. I love Karen. Hold on. I'm going to go unmute you. Okay, Karen, hold on. There she is. Karen Means.
Hello, Robert and Carla. I love you guys too. How are you?
Oh, you know what? We are so good. We had an amazing walk this morning, and we're just enjoying life, man. Just enjoying life. How's everything in your world?
Going good. Opened a new escrow yesterday. I was hoping to make it by your open house this weekend, but I was helping my daughter do an open house here. I mean, not an open house, a garage sale here at my house.
Oh, no problem at all. It was super fun. Daniel, it's Daniel Sargent.
Yes.
Yeah, and we had so much fun. I haven't done an open house in a while because my team, I mean, who comes to open houses? Buyers do. So buyer agents should be at open houses, in my opinion. If
Right.
there's any questions about the home, then let me know. But it's just so much fun hanging out with the crew, seeing the excitement that buyers, just when explaining it to the buyers and the agents, it was a treat, man. I tell you, I need to do more of those.
Yeah. See, you got to do them once in a while. Sprinkle them in here and there.
Yeah. So I took a 1.3 here in San Diego. That goes live next Thursday. So I intend to do that one because I like that price range.
Oh, you intend to do that open house?
I want to make sure it goes well. So I like that price range. I like those buyers.
Yeah.
And I like those sellers that come. I mean, I get so many sellers coming to our open houses and they literally point to the line. I want this. It's like a little kid. I want that. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to give you that. So it's just the greatest marketing tool. And I know you have had some great success with you and God, so good to get caught up.
Yep. Love HOMEBOSS.
Yeah.
Love
Who else has some goodies? Anything else? Just go ahead and raise your hand. And if you want to chit chat, we can certainly do that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording. Hold on. Let me stop recording.